Anyway, so today I have a few videos that I want to look through. They're mostly Street Fighter V and mostly characters that I care about. Okay, that's probably gonna happen a lot. Dhalsim and Zangief. But if I have time towards the end, it's just my lunch break. If I have time towards the end, I want to look at the new Black Canary and stuff like that in Injustice footage. I believe in my own planability. I believe in it. I believe in it too much. Anyway, so the first one is YHCMochi Dhalsim versus Osayu Cammy. Two of the best players in Japan. Mochi has been, one of or the best Dhalsims in the world for, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years now in Street Fighter 4 and in Street Fighter 5. So I want to watch him because he has a different style than many American Dhalsims do. Even not just Americans, but I feel like he has a very unique style to himself. So I want to watch his approach to Cammy. And then there's a few Zangief matches in there. Right? There's Itazan, something else. I kind of forget what it is, but there's a whole playlist that we'll go through. So anyway, let's get going. Thanks again to my sponsors and donators on the old left turn there. All right, so I'm keeping the little mouse up here so I can point at stuff, but what? I haven't watched this in advance. Let me just. Wow, what a start! What a gutsy start! How many Gales? So, okay, if the way that you're gonna beat Cammy... Oh, that sucks. And he didn't even get the reset afterward. But if that's his idea of playing against Cammy, then that really is quite different than how a lot of people deal with it. It's not... Look. Wow, that movement was sick. Saved it, I guess. I mean, sometimes people just spend it there. Yeah, sometimes people just spend it there because she gets to find enough setup in the corner. But dang, Mochi, okay. I hope he takes this, man. That was sick. Very different start. I mean, you can't. How often can you start with Gale like that, right? But yeah, look at this guy going in. Tried the anti-air against dive kick even. That is not easy. I'm definitely gonna have to take another look at this after we watch this round, or however long this video is. Nice. Probably supposed to have been DP, I guess, rather than drill. Yeah, I feel like Mochi will take that. Yeah, I was just gonna say you gotta respect that on blocks, so he just gets out of there. What? Oh, okay. Very smart. He's very buttonsy, huh? Yo, why would he do it? Oh no, I don't like it at all. Well, I guess we'll wait for the final round before I get some replays in here, because there's some things that I really want to point out after having watched this. But he's very buttonsy, he's very active. That's actually not the style of his that I expected. I expected it to be a little bit more staid. But not at all. Well, what can you do, I guess? Man, is he gonna get perfected? Ooh, that hurt me to watch. Okay, okay. Quadruple Gale? Yeah, the blocking, of course. That was good patience by Osayu. And now without that trigger, I don't know. How do you make this comeback? Yeah, you gotta make some major guesses. Dang! I think there's more in this. Yeah, there's another one, but before that happens, I just want to go back. So the start was very interesting, because look at the hitbox on Gale, right? So she starts off, I guess, with Hooligan. Yeah, with Hooligan dive kick, or is that regular jump dive kick? Oh, that's Hooligan. Very unusual start by both players, but you can see how big the hitbox is on Gale, as well as the hurtbox on dive kick. So that start is not as crazy as it seems, because if, common starts for Cammy are like jump toward, or walk toward, or, something to sort of like counter hit a counter poke against the button. And Gale will actually work against all that stuff. and be safe, or even plus on block depending on when it actually connects. So it's not that weird of an opening, to be honest. What gets funky? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Then of course you don't block. It's too bad that he doesn't hit the follow-up combo here, but I really like this. So in Season 2, here's how I'm viewing characters who have Dragon Punches. I feel like it's almost like fighting against Chun-Li in Third Strike. Remember how, well, maybe not, but if you didn't play that game, fighting against Chun-Li in Third Strike in round 1 was very different than round 2 or 3, because round 2 or 3 she definitely had bar, she definitely had super, and so you had to respect buttons into super, which is very damaging, corner from anywhere on screen, extremely strong option. But before she had that, she really wasn't that damaging, and she had good buttons, but like not super scary because it didn't lead to a bunch of damage or setups, typically. In Season 2 of Street Fighter V, round 1, nobody has meter. So when you get a knockdown, you don't have to respect people. You can go in exactly this kind of way. You know, round 2, round 3, almost always they're going to have meter, so you have to be a little bit, you know, more judicious about it. You have to be a little bit more respectful, I guess. But at the start, man, especially if you get a string like Mochi did here, I feel like you really need to keep it up. And I think that's something that is the case for everybody. Like, I don't think that's even character specific. I feel like everybody should want to go in, because all the characters in this game have offense. Even Dhalsim has offense, you know what I mean? So that's, I think, a really good recognition by Mochi. Again, sucks he doesn't get the follow-up combo. Not that big of a deal, whatever. He takes the round. But then there were also some other big risks, right? I think it comes up right here. He throws a fireball. Look at this fireball. If she had not jumped, that could have been a free reaction, right? That could be free EX drill. So very risky to throw fireballs in neutral in this matchup, because Cammy can just drill underneath and at the worst tag Sim from really far away, and at best, get the knockdown because it's drill. She's right next to you as you wake up, so risky to throw a fireball. But there you go. I mean, that's what can you say? It's the right call, and she even just tried it right after that. And I don't know if I can be too critical about not doing the follow-up V-trigger right there. Like, he didn't expect that he would run into stand jab, I'm sure, but the stand jab, that's the beginning of very active defense. Like, very interrupt heavy, That's why I really like the V-reversal usage from Osayu, recognizing that stuff and just getting on through it, Look at this movement from Mochi, what a nut. So, yeah, at that point, just to go back a little bit here, once she has trigger, the match has to be quite different, I think, from Dhalsim's perspective. Yeah, so like at this point, you really can't teleport effectively, just because of drill. Drill is so strong, V-trigger drill, and even if you teleport backwards in this situation, which he does, like, the drill will still be there. Okay, it was Dragon Punch, but you get the point. But now she doesn't have meter, right? So whereas in Season 1, this Fierce is like a little bit of a risk. It's not, whatever, not that big of a deal, right? But it's a little bit of a risk. Now, if she doesn't have bar, put some great damage on her, right? Why not? What are you gonna do that's better than that, right? I mean, I guess you can go in, but it's like one of those two options. That was nuts, though. Yeah, that's just, you're not gonna win all of those interactions.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, I don't think this round was as interesting. I think this was more of a blow up. So. I'm not in this for the Cammy. I'm not in this to watch Cammy. Cammy does what she'll do. Oh, God. That's so, like, that's so tough to watch. Even though nothing happened, it's just still. That's so good. So when you're in that kind of a situation, if you're Mochi here, you have to make very, very sure that you don't press buttons that are too view reversible. I feel like that's a big part of ensuring a comeback is, you know, keeping your options safe against the opponent's escape options. And in Season 2, like I've been saying, that's not really Dragon Punch, right? It's not really what you're worried about. Even V reversals are slowed down, but still, you gotta keep an eye on that. So I really like how Osayu just got out of there. Recognized the opportunity, escaped. Yeah. Yeah, poor old Henry Wallace. Could have been president of the US. Very, very close to not being, basically just a few votes at the convention. Anyway, thanks to him for being my sponsor, I claim. Yeah, good. Oh, that was not actually instant air teleport. I gotta think that was an accident. That was such a crazy... Talk about that slide in a second when we go back through this, but that's such an interesting slide timing. Like he stays at an unusual spot, I would say, against Cammy. It's certainly not where I feel comfortable playing, but he's way better than me. Really? Oh, that was a good drill. What? Wow, and you press the button even after that.
Round 2. Fight.
Dude, I love the offense. Yeah, I mean, why not? You established that so well. The grab right there was legit. He didn't get a crush? What do you do? Okay, well, you gotta take this. Like, you can't not... Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's one more game, but I wanna go back to... Yeah. Just set this from the start here of this game. So I mentioned the spacing. That's what I want to watch out for in particular. In this game, a lot of Sims matches he wants to and kind of can fight at like stand medium kick range. Like that's like you would rather be there because you feel like you're in a little bit more control. That's your best horizontal tool. That and stand medium punch. You can't really throw horizontal fireballs in this game unless you want to spend bar. So. Your horizontal space control is like that. Even if you're in the air, even if you're doing V-skill floats, like that's still about the same range, maybe a tiny bit closer, but like about the same range. V-skill float into jab, fierce, roundhouse, whatever it is that you're doing. But Mochi does not spend much time there at all, and that might be this particular matchup, which is hard to keep her out. You know, so it might be that he's like looking for an alternate strategy, but. We very rarely saw this range. Even voluntarily. Wow, I can't believe she tried to jump. So, well, like I said, that was just a screw up. He, I'm sure, wanted instant air teleport, not just regular ground teleport. But yeah, that was the slide that I was so impressed by. So the reason to slide here is if you're looking for another slide, because if not, you know, crouching medium kick, that slide, that's not like a safe option. That's not like a good tool. In fact, they made it worse in some ways. In Season 2, the hurt box is actually worse than it was before. I think it's like more easily hit. You know what I mean? Like you can't get underneath things quite as easily. It is a little bit safer. I think it's like 1 frame safer, which makes it like a little bit nicer, but still it's not like a safe tool necessarily. So the reason to do that slide is if you think that she's not going to be standing there. Even if she had, like, imagine she dashes toward instead of doing dive kick. So if she had dash toward, then that is definitely not a great option. That means that Sim is, I just looked it up, he's -2 on hit now, which is cool. But that still means he's -2 in Cammy's face. And you don't want to be there. That's not good. That's not like it's not the worst situation ever, but especially without her having meter, but still, you don't want to be there. So he's definitely taking a risk. But you have to do that as Sim. You know, you have to be he's not an easy character to play. I'm not saying I think he's terrible, but he's just, you have to make so many right choices so much of the time. Oh, I'm sure he was looking for a jump there for sure. That was just supposed to be regular anvil. If it was supposed to be regular anvil, he's a genius. Wake up Gale. So wake up Gale is something that Sim players do when they're expecting a grab. You know, Dhalsim doesn't really have like the throw tech, jump back throw tech OS. It's not really like a thing for him because he just starts moving up backwards and he's caught in the air for a second or however long that takes. So rather than doing that as Dhalsim, you can actually do the same sort of idea. You can actually do Gale. So I guess it's throw tech option select Gale. Yeah. So if the opponent doesn't throw you, then you'll have jumped in the air and you'll do the Gale instead. So that's like a pretty common tool. But of course, if there's any kind of a, you know, meaty or like a slight delay on an attack from the opponent, then it's your ass. It's safe on block though, so I mean it's actually not that bad of an option for a character who's totally assed out on defense in this game, especially once he's in the corner. You gotta have something. That's what Sims do. How do you beat that OS? You just stick a button into him. You know, I mean, the way that you beat any jump back throw tech OS is or this as well is a slight delay, like as you're pressing your meaty button. Don't have it be like a true they wake up and it's into them meaty attack. All right, that's what a meaty attack is they have to wake up into it. Instead, do what is called a delayed meaty. People don't like that term because if it's a delay, then it's not meaty, right? I get it, but that is a way to deal with it, is to stick a button into them like just a frame or two later, and then as they're trying to hold up back, or in this case up toward for Gale, then you will hit them. You know, so that's a big way to do it. You can also, if you have some kind of a crush counter, then you have a nice tool for it, like as Zangief, just as an example, right? If you expect somebody to do jump back throw tech OS or this Gale OS, just press stand roundhouse, because as they are jumping back, they're pressing a button, and as you know, as the guy with the meaty, you can crush counter that button. So if you have some kind of crush counter that causes a juggle, then you know you can do that.
Round 2. Fight.
Right? Remember what I said about the very first round, how it's not uncommon for Cammy to start with some kind of forward moving option. So it's the same exact thing here. That's what Mochi's looking for. He totally has the call. Sets up Gale stuff. Oh yeah, that's such, well, I mean look, that punish could have been better, buddy, but it ends up working out fine. But yeah, I like the pressure he has. I like the movement. You know, it's risky, but you know I feel like you have to kind of play like that. And at least in this matchup, you know, as many matchup advantages as I feel like Cammy has in this, in terms of her mobility and how she can get in and kind of control things, it is nice, at least for Dhalsim's sake, and I guess for everybody's really, that she doesn't have much life, right? She can't really absorb hits or stun. And Dhalsim, finally, in Street Fighter V, he can actually put out the hits, you know, he can actually be damaging. That was not an ideal punish that we saw from Mr. Mochi, but the character is definitely more viable when it comes to when it comes to pressuring or punishing than he almost ever has been. That's not. Oh, was that safe? Really? Wow. Interesting. I don't think I've seen a Cammy end with that. I'm gonna go back after this and check out that meaty situation because that seems like an interesting tool. Let her toast a little bit. Oh! Oh yeah, sick! Look at this guy. Did she universal on a jab? Is that... Did that work? Wow, that was his ass if that got blocked. Jump back jab when you're in the corner? Yikes.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh wow, he chose not to even go for the combo. That's, dude. I don't know what to make of Mochi's game. I mean, he's clearly really strong, but he just has such unconventional decision making. Good movement. Oh, screwed up the Gale. Good block. Oh, that's such a good. You can punish that so easily as Cammy, but okay. Yeah, just make sure you get out of there. He's done that so many times, that meaty fierce. And finally got the hit. So let's go back. I want to see in, I think it was the first round of that last game, that Cammy combo into EX Hooligan or something. Maybe it was before this. Hey! Yeah, okay, it must have been. Yeah? Was it before that even? I guess. Ooh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, he did a dash toward there, which implies to me that he thinks that he gets free meaty with dash. That's cool. Is that more damage than... What else could he have done? Can't you just do... Drill into Dragon Punch nowadays? I don't know. I'm no Cammy player. Anyway. Man, so Mochi has a really interesting and very risky game, but I mean, you can see the benefits of it. Like he's very smart. You know, the opening gambits, the pressure, not being worried, I think is a very important part of playing Dhalsim. Like I feel like you have to have such a unique mindset to play the character. You can't be worried about getting hit by individual things, even though that can be, you know, that can really lose around for you if you get hit by one thing into a snowball effect. But you can't get worried because that is such a commonplace occurrence that you just have to be okay with it. You have to think calmly. You have to be okay with taking those little risks. And he's really good at that. And like I said, in this game, at least Sim gets better payoff. I heard that in season 1, Mochi thought that Sim was not bottom 5. I heard that he thought that Dhalsim was mid tier. Everybody else I have talked with or heard from thought that Sim was near the bottom of the pack. I certainly did. I still think he probably is. I guess we'll see. But if he can make the style work consistently, then I get why he feels maybe a little bit differently. Oh, but Heel Punch. No, those sponsors don't have any connecting thread. Other than just that I've been, like, reading about them and stuff lately. Just was on my mind. Alright, let's go!